Hi, I'm Jen. I was going to do a video today about things that I have stopped doing in my 50s. But as I was writing the script for it, I began to understand that I was mainly talking about letting go of caring about other people's opinions and perceptions of me and my life and everything in it. Basically, I wanted to talk about discovering and embracing your authentic self. And that when you reach a certain age, such as in your 50s, you realize that there's a countdown clock ticking ever so gently, but also ever so loudly in the back of your head. And you'd better get going. Start chucking some of the dead weight, both literally and figuratively, and get living your best authentic life. So if you really want to start enjoying your life at any age, stop trying to fit in. I've always been an independent thinker, I think. It helps that I'm a big reader. But I was never immune to peer pressure as a young person, that yearning to belong to a group. Hey, it was the 80s. That was cool. When you're young, being like everybody else is the safest thing to do. It means you belong, you're one of us, you're accepted. You're still figuring things out, what's important to you, where you're going, and how to get there. Fitting in is something that's invaluable to your path forward in this life as a young person. But when you're in your 50s, you should have figured some things out by now and veered off that teenage train of group thought, stopped following trends that didn't suit you, grew apart from friends you thought you'd never lose, moved away from home, met new people, learned some truths, good and bad, and generally forged a new personal path for yourself. Now, I told this story on a previous video, and I'm just going to tell it again because it's really stuck with me, about me standing in line at the liquor store here in British Columbia. We have to buy booze at a special store. We can't just walk into Costco. So I'm standing in line behind another woman who's about my age. And she asked the liquor store clerk, for a bag for the bottle of, I don't know, gin maybe, that she was buying, because she didn't want people to think that she was going to take it out back and drink it in the parking lot. That woman was at least 50 years old, and she was afraid of people judging her for buying a bottle of liquor. Maybe she was judging herself. I don't know her full story, but she just remains with me, and my heart feels so heavy for her that she hasn't figured out by now that nobody cares about what you're buying. They're all too concerned with themselves and their own lives. And if someone actually does care, well, that's just sad for them. Also, I'm a little bit successful with this little YouTube channel, and I made some videos about my path to monetization, which people still watch, which is very cool. But also, it gets me a lot of questions and comments asking about, how to YouTube. I try to answer all of those questions, as many as I can, and I tell them all, and I will tell you that I'm not a YouTube guru. I'm not an expert at this. I'm still learning myself. I'm muddling along, and I make tons of mistakes, and I learn a lot. But mainly, I just try to be me. And this leads to probably the number one question, or maybe excuse, that I get in the comments section on these monetization videos, how to YouTube videos. The question is always, what about the trolls? What about if somebody says something mean to you in the comments? What if somebody criticizes? How do you deal with people who say mean things? Some version of that. And I also had a couple of comments, one very recently, from people asking or making excuses about why they hadn't started a channel. And it was that they felt self-conscious in front of the camera. They didn't like seeing their own face, or they didn't know how to do their hair and makeup properly, or they felt that it didn't look right on camera, and asking how long it took me to, get ready to record my videos. Now, my demographics on this channel, on the Silver and Solo channel, my demographics tend to skew to the older age groups, as one might expect. And statistically speaking, these people are old enough to already know the answers to these questions. For the record, the vast majority of comments that I get on my videos are helpful and supportive and positive and funny. And I like to think that's because I try to make my videos like that. Positive, helpful, supportive, and maybe a little funny. There's the occasional unhelpful comment, and I just reply back to those with, thanks for dropping by. And there are always some overly political or religious comments that I tend to delete. Not the commenter, but the comment itself. Just because I don't want to encourage or foster any kind of polarizing discussions on my videos or on my channel, because that's not what my channel's about. And yes, there are some troubled souls out there, some trolls, some toxic, negative, insulting personalities who feel the need to be judgmental about me, my channel, my life, my looks, the way I talk, my message, the content of my videos, well, just about everything. Not everything. Nobody's ever said anything bad about my dog. Everybody loves Sky. And to those toxic trolls, I usually just reply back, thanks for dropping by. And a lot of the time, very upliftingly, these sisters and misters on this channel will take the troll to task in the comment section for me. And I love every single one of them for doing that. Thank you. The only commenters, the only people that I delete or ban from the channel are the obvious scammers. But people who have different opinions than me, people who, don't like my videos, those people can all stay. That's fine. I'm old enough and secure enough, and quite frankly, I just don't have any bleeps to give for internet strangers mouthing off in the comments section of one of my videos. I just don't care. All of you shouldn't care either. Regarding the hair and makeup stuff, I don't wear makeup. I mean, in high school and in my 20s, I would wear makeup to go out, but not to school or to work. And now it would have to be a pretty special occasion to get me to do my hair and wear makeup at the same time. I have naturally curly hair and I cut it myself. I know I pay to groom Sky and I cut my own hair. It's messed up, but it is what it is. I don't blow dry it. I don't use a curling iron or anything. I don't put any products in it. I just let it air dry and fluff it a bit with my fingers. Sometimes run a wet brush through it if it's being completely unruly, but that's it. And that's not to say that I have anything bad to say at all about people who like to get dressed up and like to do their hair and their makeup and put their best foot forward all the time. That's fine, as long as they're doing it for themselves. They like the way it makes them feel. They like the way the colors look and the scent smells, and they like the feel of silk against their skin. Great, super. Do it. If that's the reason you're going the whole 9 yards with the personal grooming, I salute all of you sisters and misters who are doing that. But if somebody is making themselves miserable trying to get ready every morning, stressing about how people will be looking at them and judging them on their appearance. I need those people to sit down and just have a talk with themselves. Stop trying to fit in. As I said earlier, fitting in is important for acceptance and a sense of belonging. But if you've jumped through all the hoops and worn all the masks and danced all the dances, and you're still feeling like an outsider in this group that you desperately want to belong to, then maybe that's not your home team. That's not where you're supposed to be. It's a really scary first step to say to yourself, me first, instead of always being the crowd pleaser, going along with what everyone else wants to do. Fitting in is literally putting everyone else first and yourself second. As the saying goes, let your freak flag fly.
Just let your freak flag fly, man.
As Brené Brown, and I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, I hope, the researcher and author, I'm sure you've heard of her. As she says, fitting in, I've discovered during the past decade of research, is assessing situations and groups of people, then twisting yourself into a human pretzel in order to get them to let you hang out with them. Belonging is something else entirely. It's showing up and letting yourself be seen and known as you really are. Love of gourd painting, intense fear of public speaking, and all. That clock is ticking down, and you'd better start living your life.
Get busy living, or get busy dying.
And stop wasting your time and your mental health trying to fit into places that you don't belong. To that lady in the liquor store, I say this to you. Buy the booze or don't buy the booze. But make the choice, own your decision, and explain yourself to no one. To all of the aspiring YouTubers out there, I think that I'm successful on YouTube because I put my authentic self out there. And my clan, my kindred spirits, they see me, they find me, they accept me. If you are out there trying to twist yourself into a human pretzel, being something that you're not, trying to fit into some mold of a YouTuber that you think you should be, it won't work. Your kindred spirits that you're trying to attract to your channel, they won't recognize you. Just be yourself and let them find you. There are 2.5 billion active users on YouTube. You cannot be so unique that there's no community out there that will not find your authentic self, recognize you, and accept you. To the people out there who are thinking of starting YouTube faceless channels because they are paralyzed with fear of people judging their appearance, I say this to you. You are normal looking. Your hair is fine. Your wrinkles are cute. Gourd painting sounds fun. And to anyone who tries to tell you differently, I recommend telling them, thanks for dropping by, and then pick up your gourd and continue painting. Your squad, your community of kindred spirits, they will applaud you. But please, please, stop contorting yourself trying to fit into places you don't belong. Just be yourself, be free. It's time. Let me know what you think in the comments. I know there will be a few, and everybody have a great week.